What is going on, you sexy ass motherfuckers? My name is Danny Coldblood, aka my music vidiots, and I am joined with the one, the only, Chiliad mystery hunter and friend. Yesful man. Yesful man, what's going on, dude?
Not much, just hunting and chilling, getting ready for the holidays.
Ah, here you are, the holidays. Some people may say they're dreadful. Some people may say they're just wonderful and they can't wait. Well, either way, guys, I just went online a minute ago and it's still not snowing yet. So that's a bummer, I could say that. But not talking about the snowing online. We're going to talk about something that is online, though, and that is something that was found in the new DLC, the Doomsday Heist. We went into the heist and we found out that in the very last mission, when we're under Mount Chiliad, there are murals. And me and Yesful Man are going to talk about these murals. And I'm also going to bring up a couple things that you guys have brought to my attention as well. And, you know, my thoughts, his thoughts. And if you guys are in the chat and you're live with us right now, definitely know what your thoughts are. Let me know, and I'll go ahead and bring them up. As well as if this video is already a video and not a broadcast anymore, and you were late to the party, well, don't worry about it, because I will check the comments as well, and maybe you can be featured in the next viewer's voice. That's a little series I do where I bring up the best of the best. I cherry pick through everyone's comments and messages, and if it's good and shit, and I feel like it's maybe gonna hold some weight within this mystery and help solve it, then I'll bring you up in a viewer's voice episode. So even if you didn't catch the live stream, if you're just watching a video, definitely leave your thoughts and comments and reactions below in the comments, and we'll go ahead and talk about that possibly in a viewer's voice or in the next episode. But anyway, all you guys that are jumping in right now, thank you so much for jumping in. The first thing I want to bring up, Yesful Man, before we get into it, is that there's two images I want to show these guys. And the first image is what you see on the screen, and I believe, because I've seen it on Trippy's channel as well, and he brings up the same image, I believe this was taken straight from the game code, okay, right from the files. Now, the only issue is when I go into the editor, because I saved my playthrough in the Rockstar editor, I noticed that these images aren't exactly the way they are shown right here. The top one, this yellow one right here, and this purple one down here is actually mirrored in game. So these are not accurate. So the accurate way of looking at it would be, let me see, would it be, where can I go here? Right here. This is the accurate way of looking at them. As you can see, I flipped this and I flipped this. So it's viewed like it is in the game. So in the game, it's viewed this way, and it's viewed this way for these two. The red and the green are the same. Now that also brings a question to me, because if this is in the game files, why are two of them swapped? Why did they get mirrored in the game? That's very odd. So I don't know, because I'm not 100% that this was taken from the game files, but it was taken from somewhere, so why would anybody switch these? So I don't understand why it's like that, because the only reason I'm bringing this up and talking about it and even noticed it was because of Eldrazi Hippie. A big shout out to Eldrazi Hippie. He mentioned to me that the mural that's found inside of the new mural, obviously, we have the Chiliad mural, and then we have basically the same thing inside of like a pyramid or a triangle, okay? It's mirrored, and he brought that up to me. He's like, hey, the one in the game is mirrored from the one that's on top of Mount Chiliad in the game. So in game, we have this mural that's on top of Mount Chiliad, and then under Mount Chiliad in the underground base, we have this mural, and it's mirrored. This image is not the same as this image. It's flipped. As you guys can see, we have the three small boxes on the right of the vertical splitting line here from the top to the bottom. Okay, three boxes, and then on the left we have two. And on this one you can see, if we zoom in on it, oops, a bit too much. Actually, no, I'll just go ahead and do this. Okay, if you can look and see, it's flipped. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You see how it's flipped like that? So it's important that we make note of this, because for some reason Rockstar has it mirrored, and we know that the mirror thing is a big deal within Rockstar, and GTA 5 especially, with Mirror Park and Mirror Park Radio, and even the Epsilon says that we have things backwards, right? So when Eldrazi Hippie brought that up to me, that was a big deal, because I was like, holy shit, it is mirrored. But then when I looked at the image, I'm like, wait, no, it's not. It's right. And then I found the mistake. This area and this area, these two rectangles, are actually swapped in game. When you're looking at them, they're backwards. They're flipped. They're mirrored. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Is that something that we should be paying more attention to? I mean, Rockstar does talk about mirroring, and you know, it's even one of their radio stations and one of the parks in their game, for Christ's sakes. So I think that's a very important thing to note. So this is the actual way we see them in game, and that is a big deal in my opinion. Why is the mural representation that's in this picture different than the mural that is on top of Mount Chiliad, when they're obviously the same exact thing? You know, they want to show us that this is not only on top of Mount Chiliad, but it is also underground. So why is it flipped? Yes, Flaman, do you have any opinions on that before we get further?
Well, maybe they just decided they want it flipped in post, basically, and putting it in the wrong terminology, but basically after they made the game, they decided they wanted to make it flip for whatever reason. I don't know if it has any significance.
There's a reason why they're pointing it out. Like, I really do. I think that there's a reason why they're flipping that mural underground. You know, they're showing us, hey, we got the mural up on top. The whole reason why anyone even knows anything about this mystery in the game. This is the Chiliad mystery. This big mural right here is found on top of Mount Chiliad. Why the fuck isn't it solved? Well, they're going to bring us more clues, 4 more clues, and give it to us in the new update, which is directly linked with the Mount Chiliad mystery, because it's in Mount Chiliad. And then they give us that mural again in these pictures, but it's backwards. Why is that, guys? I think that there's a big clue right in our face. We need to figure that out. So once again, a big shout out to Eldrazi Hippie. Now, there's also some stuff that YESFULL Man wants to bring up to us, and I'm going to look in the chat as well. And before we get any further, let's go ahead and give you guys a shout out that are jumping in right here. We have IRI, Mr. Fuji. We have Kairos Power. We have I Am Rumpelstiltskin. We have YESFULL Man himself in the chat. So, guys, we're both looking at the chat. So if you say anything or ask us any questions, we'll be here to talk to you. We have Salvation 420. Vortexia B. I Am the Black Panther. We have and we have myself and anyone else that's jumping in right now. The Dude. What's up, The Dude? Actually, I'm going to bring up something that you've brought up, Illuminati. So, The Dude, a.k.a. Illuminati, has some information that he's talking about as well. So, I'm going to bring up a website that he sent to me directly related to this this conversation as well. So, stay tuned, because we're going to get into it, guys. So, YESFULL Man, you brought up a lot to me before we went live. If you want, you could start talking about whatever, and we'll get right into it, man.
Sure. I think probably the best place to start is to kind of try to do our best to decipher what the symbols are and understand the general meaning behind each one of them, and then kind of think about what it means as a whole and all that fun stuff.
Right.
So I guess starting...
Sorry, not to interrupt you. Just before we begin, guys, I want to explain to you why I did it like this. Okay, from what I went to the editor, like I said, and from what I am seeing, I hope I'm right. We walk in through a door, right, and then we're in a 4-cornered room, a square, right, a room that's basically the shape of a square. Now, when we walk in under the green area, because each of these colors are in each corner of this big room in the DLC, in the heist, underground. We walk in under the green, and then right ahead of us we have the purple. And then to the left of us we have the yellow, and then kitty-cornered across we have the red. So I put it in this order because this is the actual order. If you're looking at it, I guess, basically from a top-down perspective, you would have the green right here from where we enter. You'd have the purple right in front of that. To the left of that would be the red, and then below that would be the yellow. So that's why I put it in this order, guys. So this is, you know, just the way that we see it in game. And I put obviously the Chiliad mural, the one on top of the mountain, right in the middle, and I put this mirrored one that's found on the yellow image to the left of that, just for comparison reasons. So this is why we're looking at it in this way, just to explain myself and why you're looking at this. So, sorry to cut you off there, YESFULL man. I just wanted to kind of basically explain this first, why we're looking at it in this way before we even begin. I should have mentioned that at the beginning. So, all right, back to what you were saying, buddy.
Okay. So getting into it, I kind of think it would be better to start with the purple, because I think they all have to do with. Well, actually, the dude probably put it there. It's basically a different aspect of science or study or understanding, I guess, of the human experience. They all seem to kind of point to maybe even being the steps of our progression as life, but to kind of come to where I get to that conclusion, that or they each have to do with a blessing. They each have to do with like different aspects of the mystery or different mysteries, and they all kind of come together at the same time. Because some of them point to things like you got the peyote plants, you got the aliens, and then the infinite eight type of situation. So they all also kind of point to different mysteries, and they all come together in one roof. So all still kind of have to do with the same thing. So there's probably a duality. Fuck that word.
Duality.
Duality. There's probably a duality to the meaning as well.
We're doing speech lessons, guys. We're doing speech lessons in the next video. So everyone that wants to learn how to talk, just
exactly.
YESFULL man will be the host of that video. you know. Since we're focusing on this purple one, I want to bring up also on that one record store, or is it a comic book store? We got the brown streak up there a bit. We also have a keyhole on the door, and there's a sun, inside the keyhole, and it's got the epsilon symbol there. And, I brought that up in my epsilon video, but we do have a keyhole in the game on that one comic book store. And then this right here looks like it could be a sun or whatever that's on the top left corner above the yin yang. And I think you even mentioned something to me about that as well before we went live. We got the maze bank. There seems to be a maze here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff, guys, that is definitely correlated with a lot of symbolism and stuff that we've seen in the game so far. But it seems like they organize it for us with colors and sections. So we're just trying to do our best to break down anything that we can for you, and hopefully you guys have ideas and maybe something sparks in your head and your knowledge or your research as well, because this is definitely team-oriented mystery, and we're just coming together to try to bring this stuff to you. Hopefully you guys have some thoughts, but yeah, hopefully this ends up formulating into something, because now I think we can actually solve this mystery. I think that before this DLC came out, unfortunately, it was too fragmented. Things were too, it was just too much, and how do we know what's relevant, what's not, what's going to be used, what's not going to be used, what symbols or what images are relevant. They kind of organize it for us. They've seen that it's been over 4 years. We still haven't solved this motherfucker, and there's a lot of clues in that Doomsday Heist, but then you're looking at this new mural, or these new murals, and it kind of really brings new things to light and maybe a direction that we can go in. So one day this will get solved, because I think for a while we were really far off, and thanks to Rockstar, they gave us maybe a nice kick in the ass and kind of got our our focus aligned a little bit better. So yeah, I think that maybe with teamwork we could do this. So you looked at some of these images on the purple one, and what were you thinking about some of these, YESFULL man? What was your thoughts?
Okay, so a lot of it actually was kind of, to get a little personal here, it reminded me a lot of my spiritual progression through my own life, because I kind of went through a New Age Eastern kind of philosophy bit, and I still kind of do believe a lot of that. And so a lot of these symbols kind of spoke to me in a way, I guess you could say, putting it not like in the sense that, oh, these symbols are speaking to me, but like I recognized them. So they all kind of spoke out to me in that sense. Just going to the top left, like you were talking about, that actually reminded me a lot of the Japanese sun that you used to see on their flag. I think they changed that, but you still see that type of sun symbol. So I think that does represent the sun. I don't really know any deeper meaning attached to it, but I know that they're the land of the rising sun because they're in the east and all that. With the key, it made me think of the key to the mind kind of concept.
Right.
That's what it makes
it is
unlocking
right
the truth.
It's right next to the mind as well. So yes, that's interesting. I like that.
Yeah, and the yin yang also kind of sitting right next to the other Asian symbol. That one, it goes a little bit deeper than just good and bad, dark and light, because it's kind of the opposites of each other, and a little bit of everything is in everything too. So everything from hot to cold, and just the opposing forces of life, basically, all coming together, and ideally you would have a good blend of it within yourself. When it comes to that like wedding cake looking thing, whatever that is, I don't really know what that is.
Right to the of the yin yang.
To like right to the yin yang. It makes me think of a wedding cake type of thing, right? I don't really know what that is. I don't recognize it. Nothing familiar pops out. The mind thing, though, where it looks like the mind is mapped out and everything.
Right.
I know I've seen some stuff like that. There are some diagrams of the brain, and they show you what each section are, but I don't know if that's necessarily what that is, because I remember there being something.
It reminds me of actually the Evil Within. In the Evil Within, when he's trying to figure out everything and he's fucked up in his head, it shows.
Yeah.
There's actually a guy that is. I don't want to ruin that Evil Within for anybody, but this image is in that game as well, and it's basically showing what each section of the mind is used for and what it does, and where things get stored and why we have perceptions of different things, and it's cool. And this reminded me directly of that. And really quick, we have Dibs Gaming that joined up here, so shout out to Dibs Gaming. But he said something that actually ties into what I'm going to be bringing up as well, from the dude, aka Illuminati, and another user. And he said that the green one, I know we're talking about the purple one right now, but just
that's fine.
Just showing what he's saying. He's saying the green one is in a DNA string. He said there are letters in there, or letters in them, and if you segregate and rearrange, the only solution is the word Bigfoot. That's interesting. And then he says the yellow one is a replica of the golden record of Voyager, and that's really funny, because we're going to be bringing that up, as you guys can see right here. I was going to get to that. And this is something that Illuminati sent me, as well as another user / hunter. His name is Ben Frankie. He emailed me the same website as well. So a lot of you hunters have been finding the same things in your research, which is a good sign. It shows that we're really on the right track, I believe, and maybe we're going to eventually, it gives me hope. It makes me think that we're going to eventually solve this, because now all of our research, it seems to be all connecting. Like, we're all finding the same things, and that's really, really awesome. And then as well, in Trippy's latest video, I noticed he talked about the number 27 and this being tied to peyote plants, which that's the first thing I thought of when I seen this flower was peyotes. And I know YESFULL Man has some stuff to bring up about that as well, but it's pretty cool because there's 27 peyotes in the game. So could this be tied into, could these images be tied into real life mysteries? Could they be tied into real life mysteries as well as things to do in the game that will help us solve this mystery? Because we know Rockstar always parodies real life. It wouldn't be crazy to me to have for me to realize that maybe they have us following some real-life mysteries, and uncovering the truths of what those mysteries and their solutions were could help us maybe figure out what we have to do in the game, or what this stuff stands for, to give us a better understanding. So I really do like what everyone's been talking about. The hunter community has really been stepping up lately with their research and with what they've been talking about, and I think that we're just going to get closer, and that's why I'm doing this discussion right now with you, YESFULL Man, because I think it's good to talk to other hunters and get down to it,
Yeah, and since you're kind of going to the topic of each one, I guess we could even kind of describe a general idea of what each one seems to represent, and what we know that's tied to as a mystery to them real quick. So the top one you mentioned, Voyager and all that, which that was one thing that I knew and I forgot what I was trying to tell you, but it's definitely it deals with space. So it's obviously talking about space and the next frontier, basically, and aliens and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, because there is a UFO on it. You mean the yellow one, right? You're talking about the yellow one?
Yeah, the yellow one, yeah.
Yeah, it's got that UFO on there, and, we have UFOs in the game. Dib said something about the letters all tying to Bigfoot. I do see a letter inside the green one on this guy, and it's a W.
Yes.
So I don't know.
Sorry, real quick, Danny. I think that's what it was, that I was trying to remember what the 27 represented to me, because, as you know, full disclosure, I don't actually own GTA 5. I'm watching it as an outsider looking in, and so when I see things, they kind of like, I'm like, oh, that makes sense, that makes sense, that makes sense. And the 27 meant something else to me that didn't really mean to you guys who collected all 25 peyote plants. I think the dude just pointed it out saying 27 chromosomes, and I want to double check and make sure it's an actual thing, but I think that's what it was that was trying to remember.
Oh, that's nice,
Yeah.
because it's right next to this, like, DNA strand thing or whatever
Exactly.
it is.
And
Yeah,
that's because there was something
interesting.
like, it was, because I remember there was something that was, I'm like, what is that stupid thing? 27 has a meaning. And I'm like, I know it, and you were saying that, and I'm like, I think it's something else. But yeah, I think the dude pointed out correctly. I think that's well, at least what I was thinking. Um, but anyway,
And
that's
if you
one
notice,
to
maybe
note there.
maybe the colors do make, and that's why I put it in this order too, from the
Yeah,
actual order in the in-game room. You know, the green in this corner, the purple in this corner, red,
yeah,
and then yellow. Because maybe the colors and the order and everything makes sense. Because if you look, we have the red corner dealing with murder and death, as we have the infinity symbol, and we know that the infinite 8 was also the killer, the infinite 8 killer in game. So they made him a
exactly.
killer, and now this is a red. This is the red area. So that makes me think that maybe this is all color coded for a certain reason. These colors all are
Yeah, like the
meaningful.
golden record and everything.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And since we have the UFO on the yellow one, and this
Well,
is
real
talking
real
about
quick.
the Voyager, you know, we'll go ahead and read this in a minute, but this has some of the same stuff on it as well. If you look at this golden record, if you look at this little image here, okay, it's like that waveform, right? And if you look
Yeah.
at the actual image, we have that waveform right here. And in real life, this golden record was sent out for other life forms to possibly find, and they can listen to this and hear.
Yeah.
There's a lot to this,
Dude,
and we can read over this
dude,
if you guys want. But there's a lot to this. Maybe this
dude,
makes sense in a weird way. I think it does.
yeah. Well, it definitely has to somehow, right? There has to be some meaning to the madness. But what I'm wondering is, do these match the mural that's in the city area, the tall one? Do the
Yes.
colors match the colors that are on there?
Let's take a quick look.
Because if they do, that could also have meaning too.
I'm gonna take a look. I think I have that
But
saved.
yeah, well, while you're looking, I kind of wanted to go down. So yeah, like you were saying with the red one, I definitely think it has to do with the Infinite Eight killer. I think that's definitely part of it. But I think it also has to do with like time and dimension, because you'll see like things talking about like atoms, and atoms also have to do with time because you have the atomic clock and everything, and then you have dimension because you can see different kind of symbols there talking about dimensions, which we'll go into in a little bit. And then the green one has to do with life, primarily human life and evolution, and then the purple one has to do with the like spiritual and psychic aspects, or psyche, like not necessarily psychic, but that is part of it, but like mental aspect of the human.
Right.
And then as far as mysteries, you have the UFOs attached to the gold one, and that's still trying to figure out the whole mystery to it. I think the Bigfoot one's more or less discovered, and that would be the green one. And then the red one,
And
Infinite
also
Eight
with that
Killer's a
green.
part of it, but I don't know if there's more to it because I feel like that's just would be a small. With all the symbols here, I feel like there would be more to the red one. Because like almost everything on the green one relates to the mystery with Bigfoot, but it doesn't seem like there's much else to really be discovered there. While the other ones feel like there's still information there that needs to be discovered.
Right.
The purple one doesn't seem to relate to anything except for the lightning bolt, but everything else seems like, well, just a bunch of questions. Even when we kind of get through to it, which we will do in a second, it seems like it's just still a bunch of questions. So I do definitely think they also, regardless, relate to mysteries. The question is what and where and how, right?
Right. I
Yeah,
definitely agree. And you know, looking at this one with the Bigfoot, right, the green one, it
yeah,
reminds me of the alpha male, or that maybe the toe shoes, a little bit of both actually, because we have like that alpha male has the not alpha male like a male is male female. I mean alpha male like post office mail. In the game, it shows a guy or that ape, like man ape thing, holding what's that called, the Neanderthal, holding that mailbox, or on his back or whatever. And then I think they even have the ad for toe shoes in the game, which shows the progression from a monkey into a man. But this one shows monkey into a man, and then into Bigfoot. So that's kind of interesting as well, that they changed it a little bit. And I have I did just get the mural, so we can take a look at it, the other mural as well. So I could pull that up, and I'll look at the colors. And actually, it's got a lot of colors on it. There are red. Yeah, it does have the colors: red, yellow, green. But I don't see much purple. Maybe this is purple right here. I'm not too sure, but it does have colors, sectioning off areas, especially words. If you look at the words games, scorer, against, not, but, that's all red. Yellow, we have how, the, a star, when, great, star, right, name, marks. Maybe we should take because in the game, this mural is directly in line on the map, directly in line with the mural on top of Mount Chiliad, which we know is this mural. So both of these murals, okay, are directly in line, and they do have a lot of clues talking about that. Like there's so much what's the damn word? Like the shirts, like the geometric or whatever shirts and all that stuff. Showing that order and placements and all that stuff matters. So the fact that they have this mural in line with that mural on the map, they're both in line, shows that they could be basically two sides of the same coin, in my opinion. And now we have all these new colors being directly influenced in this mystery, and we have the colors on this mural. I'm glad you brought that up. I think that's definitely something to pay attention to as well. Good job.
Exactly. Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm watching the stream that you have up, and I don't see any purple, so I don't know where purple would fit in, but the other colors are definitely there. And unless you said the bluish kind of color is more purple. But I definitely agree. So anyway, I think we should continue down what each of these symbols kind of mean, at least what I recognize them as, and my research kind of confirmed. Yep. On the purple side, because that's one of the ones where I feel like there's a bunch of stuff sprinkled throughout the world, and I was mentioned it, I think, in one of our live streams. I know we talked about it off camera a bit, off stream. About the New Age stuff, and I definitely think a lot of this fits into that somewhat Eastern but definitely New Agey philosophy, and because I see a lot of that throughout the GTA game when I'm seeing you guys go through it, I see a lot of New Age references, especially in the alien hippie camp thing. It looks very New Agey to me, because when you get really into the New Age movement, they do talk about aliens and spiritual connections with them and everything. It's really crazy. And so I see a lot of that within this. So when I see the purple, a lot of that makes me think of the New Age, especially. All of it kind of makes me think of it, but especially the purple one makes me think of the of that.
Okay, so anyway, Wow says that purple is the crown in the chakras.
You know what? That's actually an interesting point. I wonder what the colors of chakra is, of the chakras.
It's cool is that this one, it's funny because we have a UFO on this mural, on the main mural found on top of Chile. We have the UFO that's in this yellow one that's on the mural in the bottom left, right? And then we have the lightning bolt, which is on this mural on the purple one. So maybe there is a touch of, maybe each one of these is going to bring one understanding. Each one of these colored murals will maybe bring one ultimate piece of understanding that has, a section of this mural broken into, and understanding each four as a whole will solve ultimately this Easter egg, or possibly lead to something that will. That might be a way to look at it as well too.
Yeah, you know what? Red is also the root color of chakra, and that one is red is the root chakra, and that one's for survival instinct and security. It's a ground chakra, and that one could kind of fit, because it's kind of like your base instincts in a way, and that one could fit. And by the way, that's the one that's located in your groin.
In my
and
groin.
that one in your groin. That's where that chakra is located.
It's the cock chakra.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's a shocking.
So that one.
That's a shocking chakra right there. Holy cock! All right.
And that one kind of can fit the theme of the red, because the red almost talks about, in a way, if you look at it, since it's talking about atoms and the earth and dimensions, that almost could be referred to as. I keep wanting to explain the purple thing, and then we get to bunny trail off. But anyway, that could almost explain, like, the base of existence, almost like how it started, or at least the basic fundamentals of existence in a way, because it even talks about time, because you got the infinite symbol, but that also relates to the infinite 8 killer.
Right.
But again, I feel like there's more related, because the infinite 8 killer, at least from what I remember, didn't go much into atoms or anything atomic. It was just about
it still makes me think of death as well, because look at, you got the I forgot if it's the radioactive symbol or if it was the
that one's the atomic,
which is
symbol.
Still see, that makes so much sense. See, we got the atomic, they use what up in Atom Burger and all that shit. Now it's got that this symbol right here. We got the atomic symbol there. We got, that's all like atomic bomb equals death. These dots make me think of maybe like Morse code or Braille, like a blind man would use Braille to read.
I think that relates to something. I don't remember.
It's crazy because
it looks very familiar to me. I don't think it's Braille. I think it's something else, but I could be wrong. Something that's one of those things where I feel like I've seen it before and I don't remember, and I'm sure when I hear it or see it, I'll be like, that's the fucking thing.
I just wonder why they broke it off into these things, like the plant, right? Like a peyote plant, that's on the green one, and then you have a plant over here on the left. So it's like green is like earth, and this also makes me think of the hippie camp. We have that one broken down truck that's at the hippie camp, and it's missing I think the one wheel, right? And on the back it has the license plate that says BP, and I've always wondered what that could be. But if you look at the wheels, each wheel, no, it wasn't missing a wheel, I'm sorry. Each wheel has different colors on it. And I've always thought of the elements because, it's got the blue, the fire, the water, the wind. It's got all that shit on there. And now that I'm thinking about it, there's a lot of different ways that Rockstar highlights things and uses colors to segregate them. I'm wondering if we look at this all with a new perspective like they've been teaching us, if there's a way we can break this down, because there's a reason why they broke down this information into colors, and I'm wondering if this.
If we're going off the spiritual concept and with the New Age understanding, well, purple would be the crown, green would be the heart, so that'd be basically love, and crown is spirituality. By the way, which fits what I was talking about. Where was it? Yellow is power. And that's going to be that's the navel chakra. So heart is obviously where it is. It's in your chest area. Yellow is going to be more in your solar plexus, and red is survival, basically. If you look at it kind of that way.
Nice.
So if we look at it from that almost kind of fits what these color themes are fitting. If you kind of
I was wondering if almost a character color wheel would actually make sense with this, but I'm not seeing, what is it, orange that Trevor basically is. He's kind of like a red or an orange to me. You got green, which is Franklin, but we don't. I mean, this is purple. This isn't Michael's color. Michael's blue. So
I don't know if it relates to the characters, especially since they're starting to push things to online.
Right.
So I doubt these will relate too much to the main characters, because I think this is starting to move away from a single player to a multiplayer experience. So thinking of it more like a co-op thing than that. So these characters are going to be more representations of yourself in game, or what you would imagine yourself as a GTA character would be. So I don't think these are going to point to any characters specifically. I think they're going to point to just mysteries in the game as a whole. So there might be things here to discover in the single player, but I don't think they'll point to any specific characters in the single player anymore. So like the Bigfoot thing, right?
There's also things that are taken directly from, like I was talking about this UFO being on the mural. This UFO is not the same UFO as the one on the mural. Like for example, we have this UFO that looks very, very unique. It's a unique looking UFO in the mural. Then you have the one that's found on the mural under Mount Chiliad, and it's more of a wide, like smashed in. You know, it's got its own look to it. But the thing is, we have these lightning bolts that are on the mural, and that is almost identical to the lightning bolt found on the purple one. So there's some stuff that's exactly found on the mural that's found from the mural underground. We have this one up on top, and then these 4 underground right below this. And like I said, it's weird that this one's in a triangle and then it's flipped. It makes you wonder, why is this in a triangle? Why is it flipped? And we also, and why is it underground? Like, why is this being reviewed underground? Which is a big question for me. But then you find other parts that are directly from this mural found underground as well, like the lightning bolt, you know. And the thing is, this lightning bolt is the flipped one. If you look at the lightning bolts on this mural, they're all the same except for this one's flipped. This one in the top right is flipped, and that's the one. The flipped one is the one that they decide to show here inside of the purple. Now, the fact is that this is flipped as well, the whole entire mural on the yellow bar. Why? Dude, I think that mirroring and Mirror Park and Mirror Park Radio, I think all that is a big clue. There's a reason why Rockstar is showing us this stuff, guys. I hope us as a community can get deeper into it. YESFULL Man's done a lot of work so far on trying to figure out what each one of these images are, and that's what we're talking about right now. And then later on, like I said, if we get to it, or maybe I'll do a separate video and talk more about this this Voyager information. But this Voyager information is really interesting, as well as the same stuff that's on here, and this is from real life, is on the yellow one on the in-game underground mural, as well as these moon or sun phases, which is crazy because we know that directly plays into the game as well, like the observatory and the discovery that Delta made with the sun symbol showing up on that plate only when the right moon phase in the right solstice, I think it was a winter solstice, was in the right spot. Then you can see this from the shadow of the obelisk. So that's fucking insane, the way that things are already found in the game and how they might be tied to these murals. This might be, I think it's bigger than we think, but also it could definitely easily be overcomplicated, and I hope we can really find a way to do this in the right way, you know, like break it down in the right way. What else have you found? What else have you broken down, like, in your research? I think
just to touch on what you just said here, I think it's both probably something we're overlooking and we're overcomplicating, but I think to understand the meaning behind it, it's also much more complicated. So I think it's a duality thing, right? So like the Bigfoot thing, I mean, in the game it's very simple, relatively speaking, once you figure out the pattern. But then here it puts it in this like scientific explanation, right? You got the DNA, and you see like what I'm assuming is probably going to be like the human DNA, the fingerprint, and then the skull. It shows kind of like the evolution going, and now you have the Bigfoot DNA going to becoming the Bigfoot in the game, right? So it makes it more complicated here and has a bigger complicated meaning. But then like you have the bacteria thing. I forget what they're called, but they basically stick bacteria in there and watch them grow, whatever, so they can kind of study it. I know some people think of it as sperm. I don't think that's sperm. I think that's like a bacteria.
Which one?
The circle thing. It looks like some like hair and dirt, basically. So it looks to me like it's either a like dirt sample or it's
on which color?
The green one. The green one.
The green one. The sperm on the green one. Let's take a look.
It's not. Yeah, I don't think it's actually sperm because
okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that almost just looks like microorganisms, on a microscope, like if you're looking at it through a microscope or something.
Like, let me see if I can.
It's just so weird. Like, why
I know what
these
they're called,
images?
but it makes me think of like those bacteria dish things, like like this shit right here,
like something on a petri dish or something.
Exactly. So.
And then you have the plants,
So kind of like this thing I'm sending you here. You can kind of look. It's an image I found. Just a quick little thing. It's gross, so viewers, discretion. But you get the idea. That's what it makes me think of. Is something like that.
Yes. Yes. This definitely makes me think of the same thing. That looks like a tasty dinner, guys. There's a tasty dinner right there.
So, but real quick, I want to finish the purple.
Okay, we'll go back to the purple.
wanna-
We're going back to the purple for yes, man. Let's go back to the purple.
All right, so I don't know all the symbols, but I have a basic understanding of a good portion of these. So the other one is the Egyptian scale, the death scale. So it weighs your heart to see if you go to, I don't remember what places you go to, but basically your position in the afterlife. To put it simply, I don't remember the exact things, but you know, it weighs your heart to determine where you go when you die, what happens to you, and so that kind of that and the yin yang thing all kind of point to morality to me as far as understanding the deeper meaning behind this, and of course spirituality and afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
The lightning bolt, I'm not 100% sure, but I know if we move over to the little Y pitchfork looking thing, it's a Greek symbol called the psi, I believe is how you say it. It's PSY or PSI, and that has to do that letter and that whatever that word, whatever it is, call it when you use part of like a Greek spelling into our English spelling. I forgot what the term's called, but bottom line is it's used in words like psychic and psychology and even like psyops. I don't even know if you've ever played that game.
So this image right here, this little like I with like a U in it, that's a Greek word. That's a Greek letter.
That's
or
a Greek letter.
That's a Greek letter for PSI, like psi. It's called.
Yeah, psi. Yeah. So like when you think of psychology and all that, that's what it's you know that word is used in.
Okay.
Okay. Or that letter is used in. Give me a second.
You know, they seem to take a lot from Greek, like Greek mythology, and
yeah.
There's a lot of Greek
like omega
influence.
and epsilon. Those are all Greek letters.
Nice.
And,
omega, epsilon. Yeah, see what I mean? Like this is some good information, guys. That they use
exactly.
this. Everything that we're looking at is utilized in the game in one way or another, and they're sectioning it off and showing us, you know, color coded and organized in different sections like this for a reason. So I think they did us a favor in a way. They did us a big favor, and if anything, they showed us that this mystery is still fucking alive. A lot of people were scared, like, oh my god, we got the jetpack, the mystery's over, it's solved with shark cards. I don't understand how people have that logic. You know what I mean? Because if you look at the mural, right, when this was found, we were like, oh cool, there's a mystery in the game. We have to figure out what the Easter egg is. And then shortly after we knew that there was a mystery, we found UFOs in the game. You know, 3 a.m., lightning, and all that shit. We found the UFOs. And then once this UFO was found in the game, we were not like, oh shit, the mystery's over. We were more excited, like, wow, there's another piece. Now we can, now we know that that's relevant. Let's take a more deeper look into things, and it got people more excited. Now that the jetpack's in the game, people are getting discouraged, like, oh, it's solved. Wah. I don't understand why. It's not. This jetpack is off on its own in its separate own box, just like the UFOs were. Just like you see, we got the UFO in its own box. Now we got the jetpack in its own box, and they're connected. So if anything, this should make people realize, wow, this mystery is now able to be solved. It's far from over. It's not connected to this egg. It's actually connected to the UFO. And if people found the UFOs and said, wow, this mystery's got a lot more, let's get into it, then why aren't they saying that when the jetpack is now in the game? Because this is no different than this. It's just on the other side of the egg. So the egg is still needing to be solved and cracked, but we know that the UFO has lines that connect to it, and now the jetpack does as well. So if anything, people should be getting more excited.
Some stuff I want to say on this.
You know what I mean? They should definitely get more excited, because this means that we're getting the bigger picture presented to us. We have UFOs, we have the jetpack, it's all lining up with the mural. We just have to figure out what these X's are, what everything else means for sure, and, get down to business and try to help each other figure this out. And if anything, Rockstar, I think, gave us a huge lead and a great breakthrough and possibly now a way to solve it, that they color-coded things, they broke it down into sections, and they gave us certain set factual information, things that we can look up, understand, and kind of go from there. So now we have some sort of organization and some sort of path, if you will, to start going on. So if anything, guys, this mystery, if anything, is now able to be solved. Unfortunately, maybe before it wasn't, but if anything, now we could do it. And if you want to ask me, it's just begun. It's just begun. Whether it's a 4-part mystery or if it's by itself altogether as one mystery, either way, there's still an uncovered Easter egg / mystery in the game that's unsolved for sure.
And I wanted to note something about that. Like, let's just assume, real quick, that those are pointing to future DLC, which we've seen them do similar things in the past. So let's just assume for a second that those are pointing to what were probably going to be single-player DLCs, and then we do know that they did plan an alien invasion thing that got canceled. At least that's what I've heard. And if that's the case, then what's probably happening is they decide to push it for multiplayer, either because they decide to revive the DLC, or they just decided, hey, multiplayer is doing good, let's push it for that instead, so we can keep that going because it's going to make us more money. One of those two. But what we've seen recently is they pushed an update that put in that crashed UFO in the multiplayer. So what that to me looks like is them preloading some information into the game for a future DLC. That's usually what you'll see. You'll see little bits of a game be implemented into a little bit of DLC being implemented into a game before it is fully in there. That's why there's no triggers to activate. That's why people can't figure out how to do the mission. It's probably because the mission isn't actually there yet. They're still getting everything loaded into the game, and there'll be new updates and stuff. And we'll find new things potentially until they finally release the full thing, and it means that you have less to download.
Just like what the Guro team did recently with the treasure map hunt. They found it, it was put into the game, but it wasn't activated yet. It wasn't released, until like a day later or later on that day. Then we all got an email inside the online showing us how to start the treasure hunt. So that's a very good way to look at it. Yes.
So what that tells me is there is an alien DLC thing coming up. Whether it's going to be a paid for thing or implemented into Doomsday, I don't know, but it is going to be coming up, and it probably will be linked to this, because what this looked like to me is, hey, we now have a Avenger style team we just created for this, and now we'll probably get a continuation of the story, where initially this probably was going to be involving the main characters from the single player. It's now involving these characters and your online counterparts. So I think they're going to do that. I think you're going to have now a team, and you're going to be equipped and have the government assistance to go and do battle. And I think that's where this is going to be involved, and that's probably where we're going to get the alien invasion thing. It's going to be a co-op thing, which is cool and sad at the same time, because it would have been cool to see the single player.
See, I think that they're also doing things smart, like. Okay, one thing I want to mention before I even say that is when I started talking to you, I went online and there wasn't snow. I even said it, there's no snow yet. Like, what the hell? I just went online again right now and it's fucking snowing. So I don't know if there was a glitch with my game or if it just started or what, but now I have snow in my online. But either way, to get back on track, I think what you just said is actually it actually made me think about something that I've thought about before as well, is, okay, like the jetpack. Okay, if you think about it, Rockstar has been embarrassed, or whatever you want to call it, before, because there was a hot coffee mod, right, where they had content that was taken out of the game because of what it was rated when it was in the game. And so what they did was they took it out, and well, they couldn't take it out, so they just hid it. They hid it in the game files, and they didn't want, or they acted like they didn't want it to be found. And then you got the people that went in, gamers that went into the code and found the hot coffee mod, right? So I think Rockstar learned their lesson. They learned from that. So how are we going to hide something, mystery or secret in the game without the community finding it? Well, the best way to do that is not have it in the game. So I think what they did was they waited till the time was right, and this, it happened to be now, the time was now, where they added this DLC and gave us the jetpack, right? Well, now, more than ever, would be the perfect time to where if there was something added to single player like the jetpack, it would be great to do it now, because now it's in the game files, but the game, file / code hunter people, they know it's in the game now. It's online. So when they see jetpack, they're not going to be completely blown away. Oh my God, jetpack! They're just going to say, okay, well, we know the jetpack's in the game. So it's not going to be, as easy for them to spot, you know, what could be in the game now for single player, because now it's a common known fact that we have a jetpack. So if any time was going to happen, or any time would be right, it would be right now to hide this in single player. Is the jetpack in single player? Is it a secret? Is it an Easter egg? Is it part of the mystery? Will we get it in single player if we crack the code, so to speak? Not really crack the code, but I don't know. I think it's possible. I think if there was a time, like I said, Rockstar would do it now since it's in online, and it would be the best, you know, hide it in plain sight, if you will. Will this answer to this unsolved mystery or mysteries that we're looking at right now from these from the different murals that we're looking at, will that be all DLC? Is it all foresight into DLCs that are coming out, or is it going to be something that we still have to solve for single player? Or is single player just left out altogether? I don't know. I don't think that they would completely leave single player out. I think that there's still something for us to find or trigger or activate in single player. I really do.
I personally think that this online mural points to single player, and I think the single player mural points to an online thing. Now, officially, I don't think that was originally the plan, but I think that's what happened. I think that original mural was pointing to what would be the future DLC, probably for single player. And now it's gone for multiplayer, so it's pointing to a multiplayer DLC. So I think these murals are pointing to things that are planned for or are already in single player. And the question is there anything to do with it? Or...
You might be right, because as we were talking and looking at this green one, right, we talked about the peyote plants, right? We got a peyote-looking image here with 27 right next to it. We know that there's 27 peyotes inside of the game, which is inside of single player only, not online. So you might be right. This meal right here, the one that's found on top of Mount Chiliad, might be a hint of what's to come in online, like the jetpack, right? So, and like the UFO. We just found the UFO in the 600 resupply missions or whatever with the bunkers. We get the UFO and the alien situation seen over in Lago Zancudo. So maybe this mural is pointing to what's online, and maybe the one that's found online underground under Mount Chiliad, maybe that's why this is mirrored. Maybe that's why this image of the mural that's found in this texture is mirrored, because maybe it is all foreseeing what's in single player, like we could see the 27 matching up with the 27 peyote plants found in single player. That's very well, that's a good theory, YESFULL, man. I really fucking like that a lot. I really do. And that's why this Sinner's Passage mural would make sense as well, as being in line with this one, being two sides of the same coin. So maybe it does just flip. It just shows us what's to come on each side of the coin. That's a very awesome way to look at it. I'm kind of liking that.
One points to the future, one points to the past.
Yes, I like that. That's it, and it actually makes sense from what we have and what we understand as of now. So I like that. I'm liking that a lot. What do you guys think of that? And we also have, you know, you guys in the chat, you guys are saying some interesting stuff as well. I'm seeing a lot of this thing again, this golden record, this Voyager. You know, basically, just really quick, guys, just so we can explain this, because we do see the images on here match up with the images on here as well, right? We have this stuff here, we have it right here, and it says, in the upper left-hand corner is an easily recognized drawing of the phonograph record and the stylus carried with it. The stylus is in the correct position to play the record from the beginning. Written around it in binary arithmetic is the correct time of one rotation of the record, 3.6 seconds. Okay, so they're basically explaining what all this stuff is. Now, from what I understand, this was sent out in outer space. In case any other forms of life were ever to find this, they would be able to, like, hear different things, like, or find out information about humanity. So the reason that they're putting this in on this color and on this strip makes sense, because we do have a UFO on this, so it shows that maybe this, but the mural's on this one too as well.
Oh, you know what?
So this
you know
is
what?
really
Something
interesting stuff, dude.
Something
really
just occurred to me. When we're looking at the chakras, yellow had to do with power, and when you think about the idea of the UFOs being acquainted to yellow, which also kind of refers to the gold on the the record. But when you think of it in the sense of power, when you look at the UFOs we found in the game, except for like one, they all, and that like that one is crashed or whatever, they all have like human writing on them, like FIB, or they looks like humans are driving it or something along those lines. So, and you think of them as our government doing it, and when you think of our government and you're looking at a conspiracy mindset, you think of them seeking power. So, I wonder if that also has to relate. That just kind of
That
occurred to me when we're
that's a
talking about
good, yeah,
color.
that's definitely a possibility. It really
Yeah.
is. I'm wondering. See, and also we have the moon or sun phases here, which ties to the observatory. And the one thing that we have observed, and I've put this on my channel, and I showed you guys about it when it was first discovered. There's two UFOs, or technical term UFOs, in the game that fly around this whole entire map of GTA 5 in a big circle. They fly around the whole thing. There's two dots. They're parallel with each other, and they just go around the whole map, and it's hard to see them. But when you see them, you can't deny them. They're there, and they're just, I don't know what the fuck they are. They're two dots. They're too far away to see what they are, and they fly around the whole game.
It kind of
So
reminds me of those things in Bully.
possibly, yeah. I just, I think that it's all categorized in section and color for a reason, and I think that it's starting to make some sense. I like that theory that you had. Or that you have with it makes sense with the mirroring as well, with the one pointing to online and the other one pointing to single player. So that shows that there's something for both types of players, people that like the online and some people that like the single player. They both have an Easter egg or a mystery to uncover or solve
Yeah.
themselves. I do like it. So what are they showing with the peyotes? Why are they bringing that up? Is there something with the peyotes that we need? We do know that Bigfoot,
Yeah.
which is right there as well, under the peyote image. We have that, that monkey to man, but we also have the Bigfoot right there. We know that Bigfoot was found in the game by using a golden peyote, which you needed to find at the right time and place, right? That gave us Bigfoot peyote, which gave us the ability to listen and find the beast and then have a battle scene. So I wonder if it ties into, if it could tie into what we have to do. These might be directions almost. And if you think about it, this Voyager that people keep on talking about, it's a golden disc, right? It's a golden record. It says the golden record. Now, we have golden records that we have to find and collect in LA Noire. Isn't that funny? We know that gold is tied into one of the biggest theories that I believe is one of the most relevant theories, and that's the gold one, where we have the seal of Los Santos with the 69 or the 68 little gold medals around it, and then the biggest one would be 69, which is actually the seal. And if you guys, it's gonna be too hard to explain that right now if you guys don't know what I'm talking about. I have videos on it about the gold theory, guys, and that's a really relevant theory. I really think that's very plausible, and it's funny that this just happens to be gold, and we have LA Noire tied to it with the golden records, and I think that they've been hinting at something through a lot of their games. There might even be unsolved mysteries, guys. Honestly, there might be unsolved mysteries that were in Red Dead Redemption or in LA Noire, and we just never looked at these games that closely. We never looked at games with this kind of a perspective. GTA 5, they really made sure that we started looking at things a little bit deeper, because they gave us this mural, and it took us down a big fucking rabbit hole of mystery hunting. And now that we're looking at things with a new mindset and finding Easter eggs as well by looking at things this way, I think that there's definitely the plausible explanation of looking into their past as well. They hint to a lot to their past. There might be something that we still haven't triggered or activated and solved in their previous games. They've been trying to maybe get to us. Maybe we would see what we're trying to see. You know what I mean? In this one, so maybe that the images and stuff, since we have so much tied to their previous games, maybe this Easter egg is an ongoing Easter egg that just hasn't been cracked yet, and they're giving us another chance to crack it. You know what I mean? I think that it's almost...
Exactly.
I think this mystery is so hard, dude, and so
Oh.
complicated, because we think that it's
See-
just GTA 5. It might have been in the works for way more way more years than
Exactly.
GTA 5. This could have been implemented since Bully, like you said. You never know.
But yeah, I mean, there's even references to aliens in Bully. The hobo gets abducted. Everybody keeps looking at those weird shapes, even though some of them are clearly planes, but some of them are like triangles, which are like why, right?
So yeah, see what
And
I
they're
mean?
flying around,
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm
flying around the map
saying.
all the time.
It's crazy.
Uh, One thing. Oh, frack! What was I gonna say? You said something, and I forgot. Well, never mind. I forgot what it was. But I definitely agree for the most part because everything. I think these are okay. Yeah. Okay. I definitely think that these are more or less spelling it out for us on the type of information we need to look to solve each mystery. Either
Yes.
way, I think that's what these definitely point to. Because clearly, the Bigfoot one is kind of if you look at it as like trying to decode something, the Bigfoot one is kind of like the answer to the problem. Like this tells you exactly what these relate to, because everything there pretty much has to do with Bigfoot, right? It has some other interesting things to it too. Again, that duality thing, but it primarily focuses on Bigfoot. The yellow one talks about aliens and space and everything. The red one talks about time and dimensions and everything. The purple one talks about spirituality and all that. But the problem with the red and purple, there's except for the Infinite Eight, there's not much really it points to that we can clearly say this is everything that it has to do with. Maybe that one has to do with Infinite Eight, but I don't remember again. I don't remember having to do with autonomy or autonomy, the atomic and everything like that.
Yeah, me
Because
neither. I mean,
it
it
was
wasn't
just
even in the area of that stuff.
exactly.
So I don't
So that
know.
that Infinite Eight, the infinity symbol almost feels shoehorned in, or maybe a way to throw us off. But
Or maybe there's,
because
they do talk about dualities. We got that guy with the radio station with the chakras, talking about the chakras. I can't think of his name right now. Robert, what's his name? You know, that guy, the crazy chakra
yeah,
guy on the radio. You know, it might be a way, it might be a duality, like, because he has a book on dualities. He talks about it in his radio show in the game. So maybe that Infinite Eight thing is like a red herring, if you will, on the red mural. But it could also be a duality to the game. We have the Infinite Eight color in the game, but maybe that's, like you said, maybe it's throwing us off. Maybe it's not talking about the Infinite Eight killer in the game. Maybe it's talking about something else, but it's a duality because there is an Infinite Eight killer in the game. So that's why Rockstar's gonna still use their tactics and techniques to throw us off that they've been using, and it's up to us to really get a understanding, to look at all these images, to look things up, to research, talk to other hunters, watch videos, get in tune, and once we get a better idea of why they're sectioned off, why each image is in each section, why it's color coded the way it is, and once we start understanding, then
yeah.
things like that aren't going to throw us off or going to stump us anymore, because we'll see it's tied to a bigger picture, and then the duality of it, if there is one, will only point to further clues as well, and we'll see why it's tied to that other image or other in-game thing by duality as well. So I think that
Yeah.
it's awesome that they gave us to us in these sectioned and organized color-coded strips like this. I really do think that they did us a favor by giving it to us like this, in this form.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely, and I kind of want to still take an attempt to finish the purple, because there's like two more symbols that I want to talk about, and
Yeah,
I think
sure.
we're pretty, or three more, and I think we're pretty much done with the purple, and at least we can have an understanding of what the purple symbols mean, and maybe that can lead to other parts in the mystery. Because I think that's one thing that hasn't been discovered. There's a lot of spiritual tie-ins in the mystery, but it never seems like they lead anywhere concrete, except for maybe Epsilon. But again, it still kind of doesn't feel like if it's like kind of a main side quest thing, right? It's not really a mystery. There's a mystery around it, but the whole thing you do in general is not a mystery.
Right.
So the maze thing, it probably has a relation to Maze Bank and everything, but it's the maze of the mind or something like that. Let me see if I can find some references for you. I forgot what its term is exactly. I think it's just the maze of the mind. But that's what it represents. Trying to understand.
No, I get it. I get it. That makes sense.
Yeah. And there's a lot of imagery where it shows almost that exact type of maze, almost that exact maze, next to a person, kind of like you'll see like the head, kind of like the head you have here, where it shows like it diagrammed. You'll see that maze like in the side of their of them of the head, and it's like that's where the maze will be. Kind of showcase that. Let me see. I want to see if I can find. This is one example, but it usually has to do with spirituality. There's even one for Zen gardens and stuff. Let me see if I can find where you walk it, and it's pretty cool.
Okay, I see it. I'm bringing it. I brought it up.
Let me see if I can find this. Attempt to find. I think it's called like the labyrinth or something. Yeah, the labyrinth, and it's kind of the same concept. And you're supposed to just walk around it. It doesn't really lead anywhere. You just kind of walk around it.
And that also brings up the maze that we have in the court center in GTA 5. We have that maze with the hedges, and that's also in LA Noire as well. As we get to the what the hell was that thing called? I can't think of it. It's the globe with the
so kind of like this one then almost.
What the hell's the name? I can't think of the name of it. But that's in LA Noire as well. Yes, kind of like this. Nice. Yes.
Yeah, so they're kind of traditionally walked around. You can kind of see here, this lady walking it. They kind of just walk around in circles, and like I said, there's no necessarily. Sometimes there's like you just kind of shoehorn your way in, and then you just walk around. There's no necessarily ending. But they all vary depending on them, you know.
Interesting.
So it has to do with the labyrinth that is the mind, right? Trying to navigate that more or less.
It makes sense because the mind is on here. So yes, I do see how that can be connected. You know, when it's right by the eye, and there is another eye on here as well on the yellow one. So, but it's a different eye. So that's interesting as well. We know there's clues like see the eye, you know, given to us by Rockstar.
I think Vortexia B put it pretty well. Philosophy, a maze is trials until the end goal, thinking through ideas until you get your solutions. So get to your solutions. Yeah, I think they put it a pretty good way right there.
Nice.
And then I know a lot of people like to refer the eye to kind of like to some of the other stuff here, but the eye, what it represents to me, what I think of it as, is the third eye, which is interesting because if we're counting this as the crown, the third eye is a chakra in itself. It is the one underneath the crown. It's on your forehead, and so, but that one's kind of an indigo color, so it's not really quite purple. So that's interesting.
You know
that it would be the third eye there. Some depictions they do show the third eye as purple, but usually it's kind of an indigo color.
It's funny because that duality thing that I brought up, that was from that radio show, The Chakra Attack by Dr. D'Angelo Harris. That's his fucking name. I'm Dr. D'Angelo Harris. Hey Cheryl. Hey Cheryl. It's funny, but that guy, right? He also brings up chakras. Obviously, it's called Chakra Attack. He brings up duality, Chakra Attack. That was all clues, guys. And if we're able to easily correlate this stuff to chakras, I would not be shocked if it was. I wouldn't be shocked if chakras were definitely involved in these images as well. So that is interesting information. I do like that we're bringing up stuff that could definitely be tied to what this is.
Yeah, I wanna address what Russ just said. He's asking if you think this has anything to do with the AI. Me and you talked about this, Danny. Or at least I mentioned it. I don't remember if we actually had a full conversation about it because I was kind of ranting. You were kind of listening. But I think the reason that it's put there is because what's his face is actually using it as reference for the AI. I think that's why this is part of his inspiration to make something human-like. And so when you see these, I do think these are references to things that do relate to it, and I think they relate to the mystery as well. But looking at it from his mentality, I think they're just like equivalating to the genome and the atomic everything, science and metascience and everything,
Yeah. You know what else is interesting, and I wish I could remember who it was because I would shout them out, and I'm sorry. Let me know who you are, and I'll shout you out because I forgot. But recently, I talked to somebody who looked at it in a perspective that was very interesting. We know that at the end, okay, in the Doomsday Heist. Now, spoilers, if you guys haven't beat the Doomsday Heist and you don't want to be spoiled, well, there's a spoiler coming up right now. So here's 3 seconds to leave. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now it's your fault for staying if you didn't want to be spoiled. So the Doomsday Heist, we know that it turned out to be cyborgs, like artificial intelligent people, right? And if you think about it, AI could be artificial intelligence, or if you break it down and look at it a little bit more simpler, maybe they're trying to say that AI is just an eye, like your eye, like an eyeball, AI. It's just AI, right? And if you look at it that way, that's pretty interesting as well, because we have the eye here, we have the whole thing with the brain. We know that in the game, they're cyborgs, they're half human, half robotic, and we have AI right here. 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 And inside of this room that I made sure I put these all in the right color for, you walk into the Doomsday Heist room, and we have this color, when we walk in, and then this is in front of us, that's there, and that's to the left of us. Okay, in this room, we're fighting AI, are we not? So, and actually, in real life, it's just a video game, and it's also AI, which is AI. So if you, it's how you look at it as well, and I think that's also interesting and something to bring up as well. And I wish I could remember who talked to me like that and who kind of gave me that perspective, because I'd love to shout them out and give them credit for it. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up as well, because that's an interesting way to look at things. I just wanted to go ahead and show that to you guys.
Eyes are actually very significant in almost all spiritual concepts. They're sometimes related to as the sun. They're symbols, they're gateways to the soul. There's so many different meanings behind eyes, and it's crazy. So I think that's part again why they mirror that in the GTA universe, is because eyes are in almost everything that relates to something spiritual. Aside from a few religions and whatever that would almost say that that's all devil stuff, but we're not gonna get that debate. But
I want to show up one thing while we're talking about this, and I'll give you the mic right back. YESFULL man, I just wanted to show one quick thing. I'm going to connect to my Xbox, and I hope that there's not going to be any problems with the broadcast when I do. Hopefully there's not going to be. But I'm in game right now, and I wanted to point out, I brought this up earlier in the video, and I just want to go ahead and show you guys exactly what I was talking about. So let's go ahead and show this off. Okay, so right here, as you guys can see,
just call me when you're ready.
I'm in the game, and we have this Flicker's Comics place. And on this door, we have a keyhole, right? And it looks like there's a sun, or whatever, inside of the keyhole. And there's also the epsilon symbol. I'm going to use a different filter to show this better. Okay, so you guys can see, it looks like almost like it's an eye as well. Like the inside would be the pupil, right? You have this like the pupil, and then you got the color of the eye, which would be these rays. So it looks like it could be an eyeball or a sun. And you got the epsilon logo inside of the keyhole. And we were talking about the purple one, which has the keyhole, and on the same colored block we have an eye. Okay, and then also I wanted to show how we also have on the same door, it's hard with that light right there, but we have triangles with eyes. See these? And there's this is also the epsilon guy with the birthmark or whatever stained on his head that they talk about in the epsilon program. But we have self-actualization, which is Children of the Mountain, but it's also tied in to epsilon as well, as the epsilon logo, the birthmark on the kid. So they're combining both of the cults, which talk all about this stuff, and it shows the triangle with the eye and a guy either doing yoga or whatever, meditation or whatever inside of it. Inside of the eye, inside of the triangle, we know that we have the new mural that's underground under this mural. We have the mural from up on top Mount Chiliad replicated inside of the mural under Mount Chiliad, but it's flipped. Okay, this is flipped from this one. But it's funny because it's in a triangle. This is in a triangle instead of in like a mountain outline. And
one thing I want to note about the triangle, triangle is actually a symbol referred to with the third eye a lot in the New Age movement, and the triangles are also very prevalent in like triangles in general, just used in the New Age movement a lot. There's a lot of merging and just simple geometry that is used a lot in reference.
right. And if you look at the colors, we have green, right? I don't know if that's a blue or a purple, but we have the different colors on the door as well. I'm not seeing red though, so that's interesting as well to point out. I just wanted to show you guys this this place just in case you know you guys didn't know what I was talking about earlier when I brought this up. And if you look at the top, it's also Epsilon Society. It says up there, Epsilon Society, Vinewood. Okay, so I just think that there's definitely clues to be found. I think that this door is important as it's connected to the new murals, if you ask me. If you guys want to check this place out as well, this is the location on the map. So it's right next to the haircut place here. So that's where it is. And yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and bring that up because I think it's very important. It's funny because it talks about Princess Robot Bubblegum, right? We know that the robots were in the DLC. We have this Space Rangers shit going on, and we know that in the Space Rangers TV show, they actually show their like fort, like their version of Fort Zancudo in the TV show, and then it shows an underground right below it, an underground base, and it, you know, that ties directly into the game as well now. So it's almost like a lot of the stuff was foreshadowing what was to come or what was in the game or what they were going to bring, and this seems to be no different as we are looking at the newest information, which is this new mural setup that's found under Mount Chiliad, under this mural. And I think that it's just relevant information, and it should have been brought up as we talk about this stuff. So that's what I wanted to say. And yeah, if you want to go back to what you were doing, but yeah, I think it was important to show that off, guys. I really do.
Yeah, that definitely relates a lot to what we've been saying here. I think the last thing I kind of want to point to that I recognize, aside from maybe like you could say the brain is just representing the brain, but the thing that I think would be that kind of stands out to me in this purple part is the wave, and that could represent brainwaves coming from us, right? But brainwaves are also kind of a form of energy, and that kind of fits back with the psi symbol, which is used in science as it's used to represent things. It's used to, let me see if I can pull it up so I can remember. So trying to remember it, let me just tell you. I lost it. Where'd it go? It is. Okay, so what, at least according to Wikipedia here, it says the letter psi is commonly used in physics to represent wave functions and quantum mechanics, such as the Schrödinger whatever equation and bracket notation.
Can you link that to me? Can you link that to me?
Yeah, I'll give it to you. Go. Yeah. So what that to me means is it's talking about waves and all that fun stuff, and energy comes in that form. And the lightning bolt would be a form of energy. It's lightning, electricity.
Nice. I like that.
Electrical waves. And I also brought up earlier about an oscilloscope. Have you ever seen one of those? But they're used to detect electrical impulses and waves. They're used to detect. Hello? Am I coming through? Okay, there we go. They're used to detect electrical impulses and waves. And they were even used, or at least they were used for musical things, not for making music, but like representing it. At least when you had some some whatchamacallit. So, trying to find the best way to explain this.
You know, it's crazy because I'm looking at this page that you sent me, and it shows the Greek alphabet on the right, and
Yeah.
omega. See, it almost looks like this symbol for omega, or this the word or whatever in Greek.
Here's
Or
some
the
more stuff
alphabet.
for you.
I'm saying this might be on. I think I've seen this in the game somewhere. Maybe on
Probably.
the space dock or somewhere.
Alpha,
One of the
Omega, and I forgot the other one are very commonly used. So you probably definitely saw that somewhere. And here's one that just shows the Greek alphabet in general.
okay, I see epsilon is in the Greek alphabet as well, and so is omega.
Yeah. But I think that's definitely something interesting. Full screen.
Yeah, this is some good stuff. And,
Yeah.
and it's crazy because a lot of Greek mythology is in this game as well, and there's a lot. They could be hinting to the Greek mythology that's already given to us in clue form in the game by giving us some of these Greek alphabet letters as well. You never know. I see what you're saying. The photosynthetic alphabet.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, there's so much to think about and look at. There's so much.
Yeah. And by the way, I think I've officially gone through everything I know with the purple. So I could finally scratch this off the list. I didn't want to not complete that.
Sure, sure.
You know. And I think we pretty much went over the green. The yellow, it pretty much just has to do with space and probably time of day and seasons and all that fun stuff. But that still relates to space. Like how we move through the universe will dictate the season and everything. So, but I think it relates probably more to aliens than anything else.
Right.
As far as what that probably points to.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's definitely so basically what this kind of does, in my opinion, is confirm a lot of things you guys have been speculating. Well, we've been speculating around, like the atomic symbols and how we think there's meaning to them, and there's got to be something to this, and all these signs point to something being here, but we're not finding anything. So I think that these kind of confirm that in a way. It's just a question of
the thing is, they're also
where and how.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say that the where and how. Like, there's arrows. There's arrows pointing to the moon or sun phases. There's an arrow under the mural. That's a mirrored image of the mural on top of Mount Chiliad, but in a triangle, and that's got an arrow pointing to the left. So if this is all, if we could segregate and rearrange each of these colored pattern or colored blocks, that would help as well. So understanding, segregating and rearranging, and then ultimately utilizing to figure out, this eye on top of Mount Chiliad might be just understanding. Understanding will lead to the answer and the solving and the physical cracking of the egg. I don't know, man. I think that this is all information just given to us on a colored chunk, and we have to figure it out, segregate it, understand it, rearrange it, and then it will be useful in ultimately solving this Chiliad mystery as well.
Yeah.
And
one thing real quick before I forget.
Go ahead.
One thing before I forget, this is still on topic, but a little bit off. I think in the center of the peyote plant there, I think it looks a lot like the flower of life, which is another spiritual concept. It's basically there's patterns that show up everywhere in nature, everything from what we make and meld with our hands to just what exists. And there is a rhyme and reason to it. And so the concept of the flower of life is it's the core fundamental shape that makes up all other shapes, if I remember it correctly. I'm going off the top of my head, so I could be wrong on that. Don't take me 100%. I'm too lazy to look it up. but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So to me, in the center, that's what that kind of reminds me of, is the flower of life.
Nice. Yeah, we got Norma Gene BMX saying that under the triangle is a sine wave, and I think that that's accurate because there's something on the beach that I brought up before in a video when I was talking about sound. I think it was right before our ears, I think was the name of the video. But there's a place on the beach. There's a store called Sine Waves, and it's a disc, but it has that kind of this kind of like pattern in it or around it. I'll have to take another look when I go there in the game. But that you know, sine waves make me think of sign language, and you know, this over here does make me think of Braille. There might be a way to read this stuff, guys. This stuff.
Well, let's look up Braille real quick.
You know, we might be able to understand this. And is that a barcode right there? You know, right near that
Yeah.
you know what? A couple images left of
That might
pyramid.
be a barcode.
See it? You got the pyramid, and you got the eye, then you got the little angle, that acute angle right there, or 40-degree angle, and then you know with the dotted lines, and then you got that like barcode-looking thing right to the left of that. I wonder what exactly that. I don't know. See, definitely let me know what you guys think of all this and what you guys come up with, what you guys find in your research. Leave it in the comments or send it to me or whatever. And hopefully we can get a little bit closer. And obviously this will be looked at again in future videos as I talk with Dibs and as I talk with other hunters and more YouTubers out there. And you know, we'll be looking more into this stuff as well to get a better understanding and see how far other people have progressed with their research and trying to figure this out. So hopefully we can get this thing solved, because it's been a long time, man. Over 4 years, and this mystery is still unsolved. So I have faith that we could do it now that we have a little bit more organization, and you know. But I do think that I'm glad that you brought up that other mural down in the city. I do think that that's related. I do think that that's involved, and I do think that that deserves to be on the same screen as these other images, because it is directly in line on the map with the Mount Chiliad mural. So there's a reason for it, and it might just be to say that there's two sides to the coin. If anything, that we know now that there could be stuff showing, like you said, stuff showing us what's going to happen in online, and then online has the mural showing us what could be happening in single player, or what's defined in single player. So I'm liking what we talked about so far. I'm liking the theories. I'm liking what we brought up. I'm liking what the community in the chat has brought up so far during this video / broadcast. I think that we have a really good discussion on our hands right here. I really do think that this is some stuff that is going to be helpful for hunters out there. I really do.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely. I mean, there's still some stuff that'd be cool, but at this point, I think we've gone over all the major stuff.
Okay, so basically, okay, do you want to bring up, is there anything else that you want to bring up, or do you want to save it for after we've gotten more into researching and trying to do stuff on our own, and then we could bring it up to people online? It's up to you. Do you have anything else? Do you guys in the chat have anything that you want to bring up to the table before we end out?
Yeah, there's not much that comes to my mind. Like, there's just some stuff, but I want to understand it better, like on the red one, because there's a lot I don't understand about what it talks about, and I have a kind of a basic, somewhat understanding of it. So I'm not as keen on to what it's going on about. And the space one has a lot of like kind of coded messages almost, it looks like, and it's that's probably going to take a whole other way of studying it and understanding it, where I guess if you break it down, you kind of have like it just looks like it's going to be that one's going to be a little bit more over our head for a discussion stream.
Yeah.
But the red one is probably one I want to try to understand better before I talk about it, because I don't know a lot about it, and you know, I don't like talk about something I don't understand.
Exactly.
So
yeah, that's why I'm not bringing up. That's why I didn't get too deep into this golden. Where the hell is it now? The Voyager thing, because I still have to look deeper into this to get a better understanding, and then I can bring to you guys my thoughts and theories on it. But I do see a lot of this stuff in the pictures as well. This might be something that you guys want to look into as well. And again, shout out to Illuminati, aka the dude, and also the guy that emailed me, and his name was Ben Frankie. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to YESFULL Man as well for the discussion and everything that you brought to the table. I appreciate it, YESFULL Man. And everyone that's watching, I appreciate it as well. I'm actually driving in the game right now down the boardwalk. I'm running over everybody, trying to find that Sine Waves store front so I can just show that really quick before we end out here, because I'd love to show you guys in case you guys missed my video on it. A lot of my stuff, I've brought up so many good pieces of information, in my opinion, in my previous videos before many people even knew who I was. So I might do like a cold case theory, or a cold case video series, if you will, showing a lot of that stuff off so you guys have a chance to see it. Okay, I see what they did here. They brought it into music and waves. It says Sine Waves Music Store, and it's got the disc, and it's got like a wave here. I'll go ahead and stop punching me, ass fucker. Here, I'll go ahead and show you guys really quick. Again, stream. This is the guy that just got knocked out because he wouldn't stop fucking punching me. Alright, so here we are on the beach. Here's the location. And as you can see, it says Sine Waves Music Store. But if you look a little bit closer, you'll see there's a line going horizontally, right, across the whole image. And then you got the wave. See that waveform going, or that wave? It goes here, it goes up, and then it goes down, then it goes up. You see that? That makes me think of whatchamacallit. Where are we? Of this image as well. Right here. You see how you have that, and you also have it. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, maybe it's not on here. We were talking about the, oh yeah, here. Here we go. Right under the mural we have this. And that Norma Jean, I think it was, that I just shouted out a second ago, said that this is Sine Waves. Well, that makes sense with what we just seen, as it said Sine Waves. Yeah. And it showed us a disc. You know, could that disc be?
It showed a disc, but if you look at that again, my stream's kind of delayed. But if you look at the thing, it actually looks like a yin yang symbol that was cropped out.
Nice, because if it's a yin yang symbol, then it directly correlates with the purple one as well, as we have the yin yang in the bottom left.
Yeah.
So
if the purple represents more about spirituality, well, that's going to relate more to music too, because music is going to be more about
maybe
feeling.
There's an arrow here pointing that it has to connect to another image that they gave us. Maybe it's a different color image. Maybe this stuff really needs to be segregated and rearranged in a colored, you know, chopped up, like yellow, green.
Well,
whatever.
Remember one of the first things I was saying was when I was trying to rearrange it. If we look at it, how was I saying this? Basically, if you looked at it from like the starting point, it would probably have to do with time and spaces and, like, you know, dimensions, everything existing. So that'd be the red one. And then if you went to the next step, it would be the evolution of beings, primarily man in this subject, which would be the green one. And then our understanding of the universe around us, which would be the purple one. And then our looking outward to the next frontier, which would be space, and that would be the gold one. So that could be one of those things where that was like one of my first instincts, was to try to like rearrange it that way. So I'm wondering.
Could be, man. Could be.
There are a lot of arrows. Are there arrows on every single one of them?
There might be.
There's arrows on every single one of them.
Let's take a look. Yeah, there's arrows here pointing down. We know that there's an arrow on this one pointing left. and
So then
up,
maybe
down.
the
Look,
red
it's pointing
one.
up and left. Maybe it's showing us the way it should be. There's arrows
Yeah.
pointing diagonally top right and diagonally
So
down
then maybe
left
the
here. And there is there arrows in this purple? Yeah, there's arrows in the purple one. There's arrows in every single one of them. And you know what's funny is on the what is it? Where does it say see the or catch the arrow? It says catch the arrow somewhere in GTA 5. I don't know if it's in the instruction booklet or on the map, in the physical map somewhere, but they're referring to I think they're referring to the subway, but that could be a duality as see the arrow or catch the arrow as well, in other things as well. So who knows, you know?
But real quick, Russ brought up a good point. He said it looks like a oscilloscope on the middle one, the green one. Oscilloscopes were initially used to measure electricity, so you can kind of gauge and study it, basically. So but it has a graph on it, and it looks a lot like what's behind the dude. So it has his arms out. So that might have to do with electrical impulses. Is what that might have to do with. Because I think Trippy in one of his videos said it was like a seismograph or something. I think if I understood what he was talking about, I think what that actually has to do with is I think that probably has to do with electricity in the human body.
You know what? You know what's weird?
So I think Russ brought up a good point.
Yeah, that is a good point. I'm noticing something as well. Right above this dude, he has a W on his chest as well, but it looks like the bottom of the sine wave, doesn't it? Look at that. It looks like right above him is a cut off image of the bottom of the sine wave.
Yeah.
So
of a sine wave. It kind of makes you think.
Wave, yeah. So
it almost reminds me of the one that's on the spiritual thing.
Maybe
I don't know if it's exactly,
maybe this
but
is
if
meant to be cut up. Maybe it's meant to be cut up and segregated and rearranged as well. I don't know if that's how it was in the game files. If this image that I don't know if the guy that found this in the game files ripped this image right from the game files, because if it was, like I said, I'd be very confused as why in game it's flipped. The yellow one and the purple one are flipped. As you can see, I unflipped it. Okay. Oh no, this is the right one. I'm sorry. I left this one alone, but this is edited. This is edited right here. I'm sorry, guys. But as you can see, the yellow one I did flip. In this image, the triangle is on the left side, and over here it's on the right side. This is the way that we see it in the game. This yellow one, in the game, it's this way, which is mirrored from this one in the game. These two murals are mirrored in game. Now, the one that people are showing on the internet, it shows it not mirrored. It shows it on this side. I don't understand if people rip this from the game files or not, but that's also a question in my mind. Like, why would it be flipped like that in game from the game files? So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, or if people just ripped it from the game files and then I don't know why they would flip anything, but I just don't know. But I think that we're on the right track. I think that we might have to segregate and rearrange this stuff, man. I think that maybe even each piece might be chopped out, and as long as we can understand it, that's the first thing. Before we jump ahead of ourselves and start segregating and rearranging anything, I think that we just have to have an understanding of what each image is. What does this stand for? What is that? What is that? What is that? What is that? What is this? What is this? What is this? What is this? You know what I mean? Like, it seems like it's all something that is a real life thing that we can look into. But also, it has this mural which was made up and put in the game as a clue for us for the Easter egg. So it's involved with the game. So just like the games in the series always have done, all the GTAs always parody real life. They always go parallel, side by side, real life, and then Rockstar's version of life, which is basically the same but with some disgusting twists to it as well. And you know, so it could just be a way of looking at it, you know, our perspective, like I said with the AI and what that guy told me about. It's just AI. So there's a lot of ways to look at things. It's up to us as hunters to get down and dirty with it, because like I said, if anything, I think this mystery is now able to be discovered and unsolved. I think now is the time, guys. Now we can do it. we have enough information, and now we have the other box complete. We have the UFOs in the game. We have now the jetpack in the game. They are connected on the mural, and we have the cracked egg still waiting to be opened. Still waiting to be cracked and revealed to us all. So I think we're getting closer, and I think that we're doing a good job. So once again, a big thanks to you, YESFULL Man, for jumping up on the discussion with me and hanging out and talking all this stuff, and all you guys that are in the chat. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for watching and participating by throwing in your 2 cents as well. And anyone watching this video, thank you for watching the video, and leave your comments in the comments box as well. YESFULL Man, do you have any last words before we end out the video?
No, I think I pretty much am good. I'm just got a lot to think about, right?
You got that tone to your voice, like you're in the middle of research. I see you at your computer right now in my mind. You're at your computer, going through websites, scrolling through information, like, that might be over there. Oh, fuck, let me think about, connecting this with that. So, yeah, I understand what you're saying through the tone of your voice, guys. He's researching. He's in the hunt. So, thank you, guys. Thank you, YESFULL Man, once again for doing this. I appreciate it. Everyone in the chat, thank you guys so much. We got Fearless Fox. Thanks for jumping in, Fearless. We got live stream news. We got Russ Hunt, the dude. We got Bumpy Dominator. We got Norman Jean BMX. We got Vortexia B. We got Gibsy Goodness. YESFULL Man is also in the chat. You dirty whore. You're putting yourself all over the place tonight. We've got so many of you guys. I don't know if I can shout everyone out. There's tons of you guys in here. Saizen Setsu, Zach 2017, all you guys. Roger Pacheco. Thank you guys all. GTA5 decoders. Everyone that's in here. Dibs Gaming. Thank you all for joining, jumping in. It's been an honor and a pleasure having you here. And until next time, guys, take it easy. Ta-ta. And as mother fucking always. Pop up, pop up, pop, pop up, pop pop, pop up, 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 pop up. Peace.
Yes.
Was that a peace or was that a yes? Like your YESFULL Man said,
was a yes.
Yes. So, and as always, yes. And as always, yes. Peace, yes. Peace, yes. Should I give you guys this as we leave? Should I give you guys a little? Let me think. Should I do it? All right, just a second of it, guys. Just a second. Well, we'll end it like we used to, okay? It's as good as it's gonna get for you guys. Sorry, but it is. And as always, peace. Yes! Yes! Yes!
Yes!
Alright, there you guys go. And, as always, yes!